Welcome to this week's midweek devotion. This coming week at Purdue University, students are pouring in. The population goes from around 40,000 to 80-some thousand, 90,000 in 1 week. It's a pretty crazy time of transition. A lot of those students are leaving home for the very first time. And many parents are going home without their children for the first time as well. There's a lot of transitioning going on. And during times of transition, it can upend your life. It's very difficult. It can be very stressful. And in those times, well, in all times, but especially in those times, we need Jesus. It's easy to go after the easy fix. It's easy to fall away from God in times of transition as well. Many people fell away during the year of 2020 from the church. Many people fall away from God and the church during their college years. But I want to encourage you this morning, or today, in this devotion, I want to encourage you to abide in Jesus, to continue to feed on Him in His Word and in His sacrament. He is true food. He is true drink. And a lot of the things that we run after are false. They satisfy us for the moment. They offer all kinds of quick fixes, but they don't really last. We need to hear the law. We need to hear the gospel. We need to abide in Jesus and His love for us when He says, "Take, eat. This is my body given for you. Take, drink. This is my blood shed for you." And that's a hard teaching. And John 6 this past week in our gospel, as Jesus was telling the people, look, I'm more than just a bread giver. I'm more than just a healer of the sick. I'm more than just a solution for the here and now. I am, well, basically, Lord. You need me. You need what I give. And that ultimately is forgiveness of sins. Sin leads to death, and Jesus gives forgiveness that leads to life. When He washed us in the water and in the Word in baptism, He made us into children of God, children of life. When He feeds us life-giving food at the altar, He replaces the sin that piles up with His sinless body and blood. When we hear the law that points out and uncovers the darkness inside of us, He then replaces it with the gospel, that is forgiveness and new life in Him. We need this, especially in the times of transition. When Jesus brought up that the people need Him, I want to read what happened. It said that after this teaching, many of His disciples turned back and no longer walked with Him. And that number, that's right after the feeding of the 5,000. That's around 5,000 people, not including women and children. They left Jesus because they wanted a quick fix, but they didn't want the full law. They didn't want the gospel. They didn't want to admit their complete dependence. They wanted Jesus for the rough times that they were going through, but not for all time. And then Jesus turns to the 12 disciples as all the people are walking away. He turns to them and says, "Do you want to go away as well?" Simon Peter answered Him, "Lord, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life, And we have believed and have now come to know that you are the Holy One of God. No matter what time of transition you're going through right now, I pray that you would sit with the 12. Sit with the holy Christian church in heaven and on earth. Sit at the feet of Christ. Stay, abide. No matter what you're going through, it may hurt, it may be hard. Stay, abide. Be fed with true food. Be fed with true drink. Be fed with Christ. And He will take away the darkness and replace it with the light of His life. And this may be hard at times, it may be painful, but it is ultimately good and needed. And I pray this for you, for me, and for all of us. God bless, and we'll see you next week.